Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see, I am in my room. I had to come home this weekend because one of my cousins was getting married. So I thought while I was home, I might as well film a video since I have my books with me. And I will be bringing some of my books back with me to school, which if you want to see what books I ended up bringing back, I'm gonna have a video on my TikTok that is just kind of showing the books that I decided to bring back with me. But today's video, I thought that I would do something fun and basically just do a top books that I think romance readers should read. So basically any books that I feel if you are a romance reader, and I would just say as a baseline, if you are an adult, um, I don't know why I just blanked out there. If you're an adult, I think these are romance books that you should read if you are a romance reader. I have rated all of these books or book series very highly. You've probably seen me talk about most of them before, but I just think that it's always good to give recommendations because even sometimes books that I may talk about a lot, maybe you click on a video that I happen to not talk about it, so I don't feel bad or feel like weird about constantly bringing up the same books and stuff because like I like them for a reason, so I might as well talk about them. Also, I just want to point out, yes, I know my neck is extremely red right now. I have very sensitive skin, and so sometimes when I itch spots, it gets really red like that. We are going to ignore that because, yeah, my neck itched earlier and I itched it, or scratched it, I guess, and that's what happened, so just ignore that. But yeah, today's video is just going to be 10 books because I ended up actually picking an even amount that I think every romance reader who is an adult should read. Okay, so the first book is Icebreaker, but specifically I think that this entire series, which is the Maple Hills series, I would say if you are a romance reader, if you have not read this series yet, 100% do it. Unless you have like a really specific reason why you don't want to, obviously. But I would say I really, really enjoyed Icebreaker. I thought it was a fun book. I thought it was entertaining. I really, really liked the characters and their relationship and how it got to, like how they got from point A to point B in their relationship. And then Wildfire came out, and that one was just even better in my opinion. And Daydream just came out. I have not had a chance to read it yet because I've been sick and catching up on schoolwork, but I hope to be able to read it before the month ends, but if not, then in October. But I'm sure it will be still an amazing book. I haven't really heard any bad things about it. I've heard a few people say like, oh, not as good as I was expecting, but like I haven't heard anything bad, so I think we'll be okay. But for sure the Maple Hills series, I would highly, highly recommend that you read if you are a romance reader and have not yet. In similar fashion, I would also say that Consider Me, but specifically the entire Playing for Keeps series by Becca Mack, I think that you should also read these books. By the way, the last book and this book, I am showing special edition covers of those just because they are the easiest to access currently. But these are not what they would look like if you bought them from Amazon or Barnes & Noble, but you still have the title and author, which is really all you need to look it up. But anyways, I highly recommend this series. I would say the first one that I just showed you was super fun and entertaining and like found family and love, but this found family is even more, in my opinion, stronger and like it's even spicier, which is also nice if that's something you're interested in. I just really, really enjoy every book in this series. The most recent one was not my favorite. It was actually my least favorite, but it was still good even being my least favorite. So I would highly recommend you read this series. They're all about hockey players and their relationships with their different girls. I would say if you read the first one and you don't like it, still try the second and third one because I think this is about Carter and his girl Olivia. And I think Carter, he's special. I think there are some people who would hate him and be like, he is annoying, I do not like him. That's understandable. I love him, but he can be a little much at times. So I'd say if you don't like the first book, still try the second book. He's still involved, obviously, because like I said, this is a very found family-esque series, but there's less of him because of the fact that like it's not his book anymore. But I would still definitely recommend giving the series a try. Next is Lauren Asher, Throttled. specifically Dirty Air series. So I think that this might have been one of the first few romance series I actually read, and the book I'm going to show you next as well. Like, I really don't remember much before reading these books. Well, specifically this one. It took me a while to get through the whole series, not because it was bad. I'm just not someone who has to read a series, like, in one sitting or, like, back to back to back. I can read it, go back to a different series, go to a standalone, and then, like, come back. But I absolutely loved this series. This is actually my favorite series by Lauren Asher, which I think is kind of an unpopular opinion. I think most people like the Dreamland Billionaire series or the Lakefront Billionaire series better. But this one has been my favorite so far. It's about F1 racers and then all of their romances. What did I want to say? Oh no, there was something I want to say now I can't remember. I don't remember, but anyways, it was a very easy read. Like, all the books, nothing was like super difficult. They're not super long, they're pretty short. And I would say the first two books are more fun and lighthearted. Not saying that there aren't parts that aren't fun and lighthearted, but they're just more of that compared to the third and fourth book. Just warning you that the third and fourth book deal with a little bit of heavier topics compared to the first two. But I just absolutely love the series, so I definitely think that if you are someone who is thinking about it, is not thinking about it, and has maybe never heard of it, or just hasn't really thought a whole lot about it, I would highly recommend this series by Lauren Asher. So like I was just saying with the Dirty Air series, the Off Campus series is another book series that I also read when I started like actually like reading again, because I read a lot when I was younger, and then I went through like most of middle school without really reading like on my own, like reading for just school purposes. And then when I got into high school, I started reading, which, wow, crazy to think that that was freshman year I started, and I'm a sophomore in college now. Anyways, I feel old now. But this was one of the first series that I started with, and I ate it up. Oh my god. I know that a lot of people talk about it, and I know that some people might think that because of that it's like super overhyped and that people are gonna be like, but is it really that good? No, like, it really is, especially The Deal, in my opinion. I literally still think about this book all the time, and I reread it usually at least once a year, if not once every other year. It's probably my most reread book in this room, and that's even counting Fourth Wing, which, if you don't know, is literally my favorite book on the planet. So I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. I really recommend you read at least this book. If you read this one and you try the second one and maybe you're not liking the second one, you don't have to finish the series, it's okay, but really, please read The Deal. It's so good. So then I have a bit of a change of pace. So this is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. So this is a more YA book. So if you're not an adult, you could probably read this book. It makes me feel safer to say like adult romance readers, because some of these I don't think certain age groups should be reading at this point. Like, I don't know. Honestly, if you're probably 16 or older, you're probably fine with most of these books. I just don't want to recommend anything and then someone be like, oh, why is the 12-year-old reading The Deal by Al Kennedy? Like, no. Wait till you're a little older, then read it. But anyways, so Better Than Movies by Lynn Painter. I remember this book coming out and being super hyped, and I was like, okay, I don't know what's so, like, okay, like, yeah, it's cute. Like, let me show you. Like, at the beginning of the chapters, they have quotes from different rom-coms, like, oh, like, yeah, cute, whatever. But I didn't really, like, think it was gonna be anything super great. Like, I didn't think it was gonna be bad. That sounded bad. I did not think the book was gonna be bad. I just didn't think it was gonna be, like, amazing. And y'all, let me tell you, what an amazing book it was. I really enjoyed the trope. I think it was semi-predictable, but there were still enough, like, twists and turns, per se, that it wasn't too, like, oh, I knew exactly what the book was gonna be. That was boring. So if you've been seeing it and you felt kind of how I did at first, where you're like, it's probably just some book, I do think this one is a little bit more than just some book. So I would say if you are a romance reader, especially if you are a younger one, would highly recommend Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Okay, so this next book I have literally seen one TikTok about, and that was the TikTok that got me to read it. So I don't know why I haven't seen more people talk about it, but it is Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry. This book was so good. I think that the plot was very different. Like, I haven't read many books that had plots like this. I thought the two characters had like good chemistry. Like, I know it's a book, not like a movie or whatever, but like sometimes you read books and like the two main characters, you're like, I mean, like, yeah, they like each other, but you're kind of just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like there are just certain books where like those characters are in love. And I feel like these two characters, because it doesn't start out immediately like, oh, we're in love, I feel like the way that they fall in love, you really do believe it and feel it. And I don't want to get too much into the plot because I think it's a good book to go in with not a whole lot to know about, because then, you know, I don't know, it feels more real while you're reading it, because it's kind of like a day-to-day, like the chapters are like day-to-day, living through this girl's, like, life in that time period. I don't know, it was just really, really good, and I just had a great time reading it, and so I definitely think that you guys should read it. This is from Harper Teen, so also if you are a teen, you can read this. You don't have to be an adult. Um, I don't remember it being too spicy. I think there might have been like a scene or two with a little bit, but I mean, it wasn't anything like crazy. So if that's also something you're not into, I think this is a safe book for you to read. My next book, no surprise here, the Windy City series. And I picked The Right Move over Mile High because Mile High is technically the first book because I did not like Mile High. I liked the female character in Mile High, did not like the male character. So you can read it if you want, but honestly, I feel like you could skip Mile High and just read The Right Move and then Caught Up and play along. But if you want to read the whole series, because I did, you go ahead. Maybe you would like Mile High. It wasn't my favorite thing ever. But such good books. Each book is about a different character, and most of the books are different sports, but these two most recent books are both baseball romances. But like this one's basketball and the first one's hockey. So it's also nice to have that change, because sometimes when you read a series and it's the same sport over and over and over again, it gets a little tedious. So even just having the switch of the sport is nice. But specifically with this book, because The Right Move and Caught Up are both 5 stars for me, and I love them both, but like for completely different reasons. Like they're just very different books, but like I love both of them like so equally. But this series is just so wholesome. Like the characters you connect with and you feel for, and like there is a bit of found family. I wouldn't say it's as strong as other books I've read, but like they do still like have their friend group and care about one another, and I love it. And if you have not read this series yet, please, what are you doing? Read it. It's so good. The next book is Loved by You by Anna Lamore. So this book is actually, if I remember correctly, the first book that this author has written. And let me tell you, she did a fabulous job. It was so good. I got an ARC of this, and I was super excited. I was like, oh my god, I got the ARC. It was a digital ARC, not physical. Sorry, see, I'm telling you, all my lungs still aren't back to normal. Anyways, this book was single parent trope, and if you guys don't know, that's kind of slowly become one of my new favorite tropes. I don't know, I've just really been enjoying it a lot lately. But anyways, this book was just really, really good and really, really quick to read. Like, you didn't want to put it down type quick, not just like, oh, it's like short or something. And while reading it, there were like other characters that you meet, and I was like, oh, I hope they get a book, or like, I hope they get a book. And let me tell you guys, they're going to get books. The second one I think comes out in November or December. And then the third one's coming out in like the middle of 2025. So she's working on it. She's getting us our books. But I just haven't seen a lot of people talk about it, and I really, really, really enjoyed this book. And I think that all of you guys would enjoy it as well if you guys like any of the same books that I've liked so far in this video or in any of my videos I've talked about. It's so good. And last but not least, we have the Boys of Tommen series. Now, if you have not met me, none of you have met me, unless you're my friends. I mean, if you have not watched one of my videos before, you may not know, but the Boys of Tommen series about changed my life. There are very few book series or books in my room that I truly like could, like, okay, every book in here, how do I explain this? I don't know how to explain this. Like, I could not part with this series. Like, if you told me I had to sell all of my books, I don't think I could sell this series. Like, that type of feeling, like, there is just so much emotional connection that I have to different characters and just the books and how much they made me feel. Technically, these are advertised in the YA section, like at Barnes & Noble. I think that is incorrect. There is a lot of traumatic stuff that gets talked about in all of the books. There's 5 of them. These are the 5, just so you guys can see. And I think that if you are probably 16, 17, you're probably fine. But if you're younger than that, you just might not want to be reading it. It's just, it may not be your time yet. There's just a lot, and I feel like the things I was going through at that age, either I wouldn't have been able to understand the, like, level of intensity that was going on, and pick up on, like, the subtleties that were like, ooh, this is bad type stuff. I don't know. It is all up to you guys. You all can decide what you can handle and not, but still search up trigger warnings because there is a lot in these books, but they are literally so good, and I don't think anyone I've known that has read them hasn't loved them. Okay guys, so that was my video for today. I hope that you guys enjoy. I hope that you guys are all having a great, you know, day, week. If you guys are back in school, I hope school is going well so far. I know that for me, it has been a lot with being sick, but I'm getting there, and just, you know, working every day to get myself caught up, which is why a lot of these videos are probably going to be a little bit later than you may be used to me posting, but I am really trying, as well as the fact that my laptop has decided that it no longer will allow me to take videos from my phone and upload them to my laptop to edit them, which means I have to edit them on iMovie on my phone, which is not great, in the sense that, like, then sometimes I have issues with re-downloading that video to my phone and having enough storage. Even though I have plenty, my phone likes to say I don't. It's complicated, it's a lot. So there are also probably going to be issues that I come across with trying to edit and post. So you just have to bear with me while I try to get all of that figured out. I am hoping that I can film this and then quickly edit it while I'm at home, so I don't have to worry about it, because the desktop that I have here is usually where I edit, and that one has never given me a problem, so fingers crossed. But yeah, this was today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my TikTok and Bookstagram for more book content that I may not post on here. I don't think I have any, like, updates, but, like, everything's down below, like my Bookstagram, my BookTok, my Goodreads, my Amazon link to the reading journal that I created if you guys want to buy that, my Amazon wish list if you guys want to buy me a book, which you do not have to. It's literally just there because it helps me keep kind of track of the books that I want, and also just, like, if you guys want to buy me a book, I'm not gonna stop you. But again, do not feel pressured to. If you want to, go ahead. If you don't. It's literally that simple. But yeah, I don't know what my next video will be. I'm thinking it'll probably be a TBR for October or a reading wrap up. I haven't fully decided if I'm gonna do, like, a combination video or not, because I think there's, like, 1 book, maybe 2 that I've read this month. And I don't know how much more I'm gonna get, but we will see. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.